Well, greetings. I'm Savannah from Black Witch Coven. Well, greetings. Welcome. Today, I'm a little bit excited, as you can see. I've got a few questions that I will answer. And for some of you who are with the Black Witch Coven newsletter, you know, on Fridays, I've been starting to do a little rant, Savannah's rant on Friday. I included in my little newsletter, and tomorrow I have a busy day with love spells and such, so I thought I would just do this little rant in this little video, and I'll post it in the newsletter as well as up on YouTube as well for everyone else. But that little rant is about ethics, and a lot of you have actually written in and asked about Black Witch Coven's ethics and ethics in black magic, and also other spellcasters and practitioners these days, how they're trying to scam and con. Now, I use that word very lightly because so many people that throw that word around actually haven't taken the time to look up in a dictionary what that word means. And so I'm not here to throw shade at anybody, but what I will do is give some advice based on what we do at Black Witch Coven and some people that are trying to link in with us to get a little bit of leverage, which seriously, I don't give a truck about. Do whatever you want, copy our shit, do whatever you fucking want, but there will be consequences. We're not worried about consequences. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Secondly, now, Violet, I'm going to answer your question. Violet's been a long time subscriber and follower of our course, and you are very strong magically yourself. But you've actually been around long enough to notice that you say some channels come and go and practitioners come and go, and here I still am. Yes, I've been around for a long time, and you know, thanks to the Lord, I will probably be around much longer because I've got a lot of work to do and a lot more to hand over and give confidence to many more people, generations, males and females as well, to get onto this path and live with confidence. And then, you know, when I die, I die. I don't give a shit when my time is come and ready. But my job here is to share my knowledge. The other question we get asked a lot is, what is my stance with the political environment? I know some members of my coven now are going, oh, just shut up, Savannah. I'm going to share with you my thoughts on that. You're not going to like it. You're not going to agree, because a lot of people in the magical sphere are anti a certain level of politics. I'll give you my thoughts on this and some things that you can do. So let's get into these questions. Okay, let's start off with the, let's just call it what it is. It's the anti-Trump march. Now, Lindsay says, hey team, I recently discovered BWC, and what I've learned from your website, blog and channel has empowered me immensely, and I'm so grateful. Awesome. With all the high stakes elections going on around the world, would you consider sharing some spells or tips for empowering certain candidates and stopping certain candidates? This is a really big one. Now, there's two trains of thought that really go into shifting this. Now, if you're a solo practitioner, you have got Buckley's to zero of influencing a political election or any type of election. You just don't. You don't have enough energy within yourself to effect the free will of millions and millions of people putting their passion into an outcome. Think of it like that. So at the same time, think of this, all your brothers and sisters have passionately put their effort or thoughts or energy or free will into voting that person that was in power. Now, of course, we like to say that everything is rigged and wronged if nothing goes our way. But hey, that's just not true. That's my personal opinion on it. I feel like the game of politics is shady anyways. So if you really want to influence the outcome, you need to work with a group. Now, even a coven within itself, and I think some covens have gone to the media, I've seen, and basically it's been stories, or probably the media has sought these covens out probably and tried to do a story to influence, witches trying to influence politics or some shit like that. At the end of the day, it's very, very hard, even for a coven of witches, to influence the outcome. And I feel like it's not to say that you shouldn't do that, but the likelihood of it having success is slim to none. Now, there is, for example, there's meditation groups or large movements. So if you had a whole body of people or tribe of people that were of the same mindset and the same passion, putting intensity into a desired outcome, that absolutely affects the result of something. Okay, so what this is really is influencing energy on the matrix above us all. Now, I don't want to get too far off on a tangent. Above us all, there's sort of like a triangle grid or pyramid that really encases the whole world. And when you meditate or pray or try and influence something as a group, as a collective, and I'm talking a huge collective, it does. And then there's been studies on this too that scientifically show you can affect the outcome or the energy of a certain area or pod. So this is something that you really need to look into. If it's important to you, perhaps go into a group. What's that? Insight Timer. That's a free app. There's little groups on that. Everyone's meditating. Everyone's putting energy and so forth towards a certain something. Yes, you can have an effect on something for that. But if you're a solo practitioner wanting a single spell to effect the result of some election or political campaign, I swear, I'll give you $10,000 if you can give me what we plan to do, and here's the outcome of that. Send through your plan. I swear, I've thrown it out there on YouTube. I will pay you 10 grand if you can do that, because I have never seen it done in all my years. And it's just not the way that energy works. So think about what I first said to answer this question, and then it kind of makes sense why it's going to be a gigantic challenge. Okay? But thank you for your question. All right, moving on. So Violet says, hello, Savannah. I'm a long-time follower of your channel. I know who you are, Violet. You enrolled in one of my courses. Yes, you have. And yes, I know. Look, so Violet is a very strong practitioner herself. She's dedicated to the arts, and she's been doing this for many, many years. So she has had a chance to, and she has done some work, I know, for fellow left-hand path practitioners. She's very clever with her graphic work and so forth. So, yeah, a lot of respect I have for you, girl. Oh, and she's Australian. Double respect for you. She says, over the years, I have noticed something about you compared to other YouTube channels that teach black magic, hexing, and cursing. Some, not all, of the other content creators seem to look in bad shape compared to you. I don't want to mention names as I don't know what goes on in their life, but judging by appearances, they are broke, don't travel internationally much, look exhausted, unhappy, and like they've lost the passion for the craft. You, on the other hand, radiate an energy that is not only captivating but also enchanting. Many channels have come and gone, but you are always there, and fantastic example of what one can achieve with the spirits. My question is, why do some people's lives get worse when walking this path and some flourish? Thank you for in advance. Violet, it is frustrating, but the answer is quite simple. It's to do with your reason for coming onto the path. We're in this age of instant, and when you're expecting something instantly, you do things that let me cut it really simply, that aren't accepted by the spiritual world. So if this was maybe I should do this video directly actually to the Working with Demons group, because I can speak a little bit more freely. If you're giving a sacrifice, or say you're doing a heavy duty ritual and you feel like you've really done something that's outside of your comfort zone and you've done it to the spiritual world and now you're expecting this outcome, they're a lot of the time just not going to pay you any attention. And in fact, what I've found is that they'll take you on a journey, all right. They will give you a few breadcrumbs of encouragement. And then, as they should to some of these people, they will take you in, run you ragged, and then throw you out the door like you should be thrown. Because to me, and now I'm going to talk to you all like you should be spoken to if this is you. You are using the left-hand path because you are failing in other areas of your life, and you're turning over here to either be dark or gothic or a sick person or some other hard ass that you're not. And you're not in alignment, you're not acting with integrity, and you deserve to learn this lesson. Now, when you're bitch slapped and thrown out the back door, it's up to you to learn that lesson, to brush yourself off and then walk back in the door with your head bowed and do some of the hard work like we've all had to do. And this is how you succeed in the left-hand path. What pisses me off the most, and Violet, this is not towards you, sister. What pisses me off on the left-hand path so much is that people coming from other religious streams walk in the door because their deity has ignored them. And so they walk in the left-hand path, think that they can dress in black, put on a few fucking amulets, and then do a ritual and say, "Da-da, I've done a ritual. You must be fake because I did the ritual that you said and it's failed." So really? So how long have you been practicing in your other religious path? How long have you been praying to your deity and he hasn't answered you, and you have the audacity to come over to the left-hand path and ask for what you're asking for, like he's a genie in a fucking bottle and he's supposed to deliver to you like some bitch? I don't think so. It doesn't work like that. So this is why a lot of, even people that are doing all of these, I don't look at a lot of people's channels. I really don't care. I've got enough fish to fry where I'm at. I do, and they're popular. It's interesting, and I understand why they're popular. They're fresh, they're young. YouTube hasn't censored the shit out of them, and they're looking like the part. But the trouble is, unless they've done the due diligence, unless they go in there and learn their lessons, they will be in and out really fast and then doing their thing. And look, I wish them the best. I understand. But if you're coming into black magic, and the ones that have been around a long time, they're authentic. They're going on a journey. If you're watching their channels over the years, you'll see them. They might look shitty sometimes, because even me, when I go into a 3-day ritual for certain types of spells, it's draining. At the other end, when I first started doing this heavy level of ritual magic, I was exhausted. I would really be offline for 3 to maybe even 7 days. That's how exhausting it can be. And energetically, I've learned how to correct myself, how to basically use energy to my own advantage. It is such a journey. But now that I had my little rant about that, like you probably know if you've done my courses, I've said that Lucifer has taken me on a journey. And I share, especially the number one lesson is when I had a lot of businesses back in Sydney. And I remember saying, "Lucifer, I am so freaking sick of all of these businesses. I want them to go away." And a law was created in Sydney that basically put my businesses or those businesses into liquidation. I lost millions of dollars and I had the biggest smile on my face. You know why? Because I asked for it and I knew that in order to get where I wanted to go, I had to be pulled through the coals. Yes, it hurts losing all of that money. Now, I'm not a silly squirrel. I did hide a lot of my acorns, but still, this was a lesson that I had to learn because I asked to go on that journey. And so for you out there wondering why, and so many other questions, not you, Violet, but so many of you out there that have just popped in, fresh through the door of Left Hand Path, performed your first ritual, and now you're writing into us. The ritual didn't work. Lucifer's ignoring me. Just remember, in order to change where you are right now, something has to change in your head. There has to be that aha moment. There has to be a changing of what you're literally and physically doing right now. And that might be the removal of something. That might be the attainment of wisdom. That might be the learning of some skill. Before you can actually go on and do what you're asking the deity to do for you. It's not instant. This isn't TV. So just stop being stupid. So a lot of people out there will say, oh, but look, you had millions of dollars to lose. People who've known me for 20, 30 years know that when I divorced way back in the day, I gave everything away, everything. I started fresh because I knew that I was going on a journey and I trusted and I kept on doing ritual. I stayed true to what I was doing and I never doubted my spirits, okay? I had to walk down the line, walking with other people and faiths, and still remaining true in your heart. It bothers me when people say shit's been given to you because shit hasn't been given to me. I have had to work hard for it. And I have only achieved results through hard work and diligence, not instant damn success. All right? So stop bitching and just do the freaking work yourself. I don't have pity. If you want pity, write into some of my other Coven members because you're not going to get ever an ounce of freaking pity from me. It doesn't happen. Pity party doesn't happen at my door. So Violet, hang in there, sister. You really have what it takes. I know the journey you've been on and you just got to hang in there because it's not over yet. Just be strong. So next question. Okay, let's move it along. Now, I'm going to probably have to censor the crap out of this video because I've been quite vocal, but this is me in my natural state. I am loud, I'm extremely vocal, and I'm full on. I'm just not like that all the time on YouTube because I wouldn't be here. That's a problem. Okay, let's be nice. Right. So at the beginning of this video, I said I was going to talk about something that not only do we get a lot of questions on, but also something that I'm becoming quite frustrated about on different levels. And that is, people feel like because it's Black Witch Coven that, that we're just a bunch of crazy mother truckers and completely without ethics and we like to screw people over and yada, yada, yada. And that is not true at all. I may not follow mainstream society rules, but that doesn't mean that I don't have my own set of ethics. Now, you that have been following me for a long time will know that I feel uncomfortable teaching magic to anyone that's under 18. I feel like there's a different and stronger journey that you can go on at this time to strengthen your skills before you just jump in here anyways, because all you're going to be is a play toy for some of the higher level entities if you're not taking this seriously. So if you learn some of the other basic rituals and learn how to conduct energy, I promise you by the time you get to my age, you're going to be a stronger spellcaster than me, maybe even more powerful. I'm not saying I'm all that, but I'm just saying that I had This was my path from a very young age. I learned how to conduct energy first. Now, ethically, of course, I'm not going to do it for a lot of people. There's a lot of things that I do that's going to piss off nearly everyone, from blood magic to animal sacrifice to all these sort of things. Like, I'm not for the everyday person, but I'm not desiring to be as well. That's not to say that everyone in Black Witch Coven is like this. They are not. This is just me and my own practices at this stage. But what I will say is that ethically, there's a few codes that all of us can agree on. There is nobody at Black Witch Coven that would ever harass anybody for money. It is not our style. We do not do it. I don't even say subscribe after a freaking video. It's not that I don't care. It's just, it's up to you what you want to do. And so what we're hearing is, and this is why I'm talking about this, is that now that so many people are out there doing magic, what we're being told is that either people are saying they're with Black Witch Coven, or they're saying that they're aligned with Black Witch Coven. So let me just cover that first. There is absolutely no one aligned with Black Witch Coven outside of us. Now, we have affiliates that I might suggest you should do those courses, or you should perhaps follow their services or something like that. But that is only coming from our website. And if you're not sure, just email us, Lady Hannah or Edwin or Blonde Gypsy or somebody will tell you exactly, because it's not that we're trying to be special or say we're the most special. It's just we don't operate like that. It's not what we do. So we're never ever going to, there's nothing that's going to ever say that this spell is in alignment with Black Witch Coven or cast by Black Witch Coven if it's not directly from our website. So that's firstly. Secondly, we never ever chase anyone and ask for money. It's sort of like the biggest no-no ever for us. If I found one of my members doing that, it wouldn't even be, and I knew they did it, there wouldn't be a conversation that's needed. It would be complete banishment forever. It really pisses me off to the max. So and we've been around for a long time, if you're doing work with us, it's by your own free will that you're coming to us. We will never follow up and say, oh, if you only buy this, we can remove this or that. You'll email us and ask for our opinion, or maybe book a consultation with somebody and we will give an opinion, but we don't trace anybody, or we don't harass anyone. We don't follow up with anyone to ask for money. It is never ever our style. So if someone is contacting you and saying that they're from Black Witch Coven and this is what they need, it doesn't happen. It's non-existent. They're completely full of it. And if another spellcaster, moving on, if some other spellcaster is harassing you, they're not worth their weight at all. I hate to say they're fake. Let me just say they're desperate. Now, this is happening a lot. So this is going into my rant of the week, right? So many of you write in and say that, for example, a lot of and I'm not putting shit on Indian spellcasters at all, but there's a lot of them out there that are basically saying they're black magic Wiccan spellcasters. Yeah, that should say it all. But also there's a lot of people coming from certain areas of Africa saying they're Dr. Blah Blah, and they'll bring you success or money or whatever. And what they're doing really is trying to gain your attention by spamming typically Facebook or social media pages The other one that was really like quite disturbing is even in the USA, there's a spellcaster in Vegas that basically once you connect with them, they hit you up for like 25G to say, we're going to remove a curse or something like that after the fact. And then if you don't follow through, all of these people, if you don't follow through or say, why are you harassing me? They'll start to threaten you. We're going to do death magic on you, or we're going to curse you, or we're going to blah, blah, blah. So let me just say, all of these people that do that level of stuff are full of it. So let me just say that any spellcaster that acts with desperation is already weak. So that's enough really said on that, isn't it? They're not strong enough to bring abundance into their own life or control their own environment. What they're doing is preying on you in order, your own fears. They're extracting a little bit of information out of you, throwing it back on you, and then using your own fear in order to extract money. Now, perhaps you're working with a spellcaster who actually does ask you for additional funds for products or supplies. For example, you've got to look at the magical system that person is working within. If someone's doing folk magic for you and you've actually asked them to perform certain spells for you, and that requires the procurement of perhaps a live chicken to sacrifice, or perhaps other spellcasting tools, candles, that they weren't planning on doing, but you've actually asked for additional work and they've needed to do that. I'm not saying that they're fake at all, because buying a live chicken and doing these rituals and so forth, that can be expensive, right? So I'm not talking about them. What I'm talking about is these people that are harassing you and laying down a threat on you or threaten you, should you not actually follow through with them. Any spellcaster that does that, you need to say they're weak as shit and worth nothing, and then back away from them. So I'll give you an example. Someone wrote in, and we get a lot of these, asking for help because someone else screwed them over, right? The gist of this email was, if you can help me get a refund, it's only $100, but he wanted $75 every month for 6 months until I asked for a refund, and I told him no. He's called, I'm going to leave his name out. I hired him for a vinegar jar, and after 2 weeks, he wanted more money. I said, wait until the month is over and then we can proceed. He insisted that I pay right now, and I declined. It hasn't even been 30 days yet. He denied me a refund and threatened to tell the target that I put a jar on them and made several threats to me. I have the emails. I'm sure you're higher than him in the pecking order, including myself, but I'm not a practitioner yet, yada, yada, yada. So that's a typical type of communication that goes on with a very weak spellcaster living out of desperation. So these are the type of people that you need to stay away from. As a strong spellcaster, if you're casting spells with your clients, you know that there's no guarantee with any magical spell. So you do your best to either achieve a result, or you look at some of the challenges that's around that spell casting, and you can give advice. But to try and hit someone up and then threaten them, that is never okay. And I feel like, going back to the last question I answered, I really feel like that's why we've had so much success over many, many decades, because we follow that strategy. We don't try and BS people. We never try and screw people over, and we're always honest. We're not saying that we're the best at all, and I'm not saying that other spellcasters aren't strong. I'm just talking about our ethics. So if you found yourself in this situation, I just say that you have to just delete and block this person. Desperate people do desperate things. They will say and do anything to get a response out of you. And the best way to handle that is just to call them an idiot if you so wish, or use whatever term you like, or completely ignore them, but block them and shut them down. They are, I promise you, completely powerless. The last thing I'll say is that if they really had power over you, don't you think they'd be able to get you to actually pay the money? Just saying. So let me just finish by saying this. If you're new onto the left-hand path, look at it like a journey. Give it the respect it deserves. Put in the effort and the dedication, and understand that in order to grow, you need to learn lessons. And learning any lesson is painful. Change is painful. I really do wish you all success with Magick, and no matter what system of magic you're following, I wish you happiness. Okay, blessed beast, and I'll see you next time.